Spit works. Spit works just fine.
And we already started.
Yeah, I was about
What's up
to
with
say.
y'all? We here, Blur Cartel. Shout out to Blur Approved Entertainment. Shout out to Blur Got Time. Also, this is 3-episode rule. Main Spider Can, aka the Shiesty Sorcerer. Here talking about the Winter Anime 2024 or just Winter Anime. That's the season we're in. So by the most hyped up anime of the season, you know there's always one. It's Solo Leveling. The popular manhwa. Yeah, I mean,
Sun Jin Woo.
Sun Jin Woo is
That
the main
overhyped Riz
character.
kid.
Nobody cares about the other characters in the show for right now. We're just doing the 3 episodes. The
Thank
classic
God.
3-episode rule. The anime is not getting 3 episodes. What are you fucking with it?
True.
There's a bunch this season. I gave up the fucking strongest labyrinth. Hold on. I gotta read the whole title to y'all.
The
Oh,
tank
God.
was $9.99, something like
Yeah,
that.
that shit.
Yeah.
That shit is trash. It's not about that. Shout out to Taylor Wedding Rings. That's turned into a good harem.
We got episode 1 of Oda's monster dropped today too.
Oh shit!
Oh,
One Piece
Lord.
Negroes. But the kid
You know,
on
I'm one,
topic.
hey,
We'll talk about the other shows that we got. Watson here. You know what I mean?
What's good, folks? Watson_the Great. TikTok is where you can always find me. This is one of like many 3 episodes I've done. Of course, I've done posts and reviews on a lot of the winners animes, but yeah, this one I think is pretty good.
We're gonna stay consistent because there's a lot of shows out. At least 10 shows out. At least worth reviewing. But Afro County 765.
you already know your local neighborhood scumbag here to give the folks a daily dose of dirtbag. Same gimmick, different day. You already know. Ready to talk about what I liked and did not like.
He's a Manhwa Negro, but we got
I
BMP
am.
facility. He's just learned Cap Cut, so round of applause for him.
Yes. I am just now getting past my freshman year of Cap Cut. I'm feeling pretty good. If you are watching this, please like, share, subscribe. Join me on TikTok. I'm almost at 100. So
He's a TikTok Negro now
I
too.
was gonna say another.
Hey, I know, I
Another
found-
TikTok Negro.
I
in the
sound so
book.
sweaty and dirty. Like, just follow me. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to start doing TikTok dances.
Oh, Lord.
You better make sure you slap
gotta
that
do a
fucking
TikTok
flip flop
I'm
right.
gonna have to do it, man. Learn those hand signs and stuff. But other than that, we're definitely here. I'm definitely honored to get to be here with the Blur Cartel Waifu Reviews, one of 3 with the dirty slime ambassador himself. You know what I'm saying? And Watson, the goddamn enigma. We don't know what he's gonna say. So, you know, we're
You gotta
here.
flip a coin on
I
whether
feel
he's
like
actually seen
Cam
this or
summoned
not.
the whole council of different blurred tribes to come together for this.
We here reviewed nonsensical anime for the season. Ebony Moonbeam to round us out. Live
Hey
from the-
everybody, Ebony Moonbeam. You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms. Cosplayer, Nerd Queen, and 1/3 of the female Blurred led podcast, Waifu Views, that typically airs Sunday, as y'all can see by how I'm dressed. And it is Sunday. We did not do a show. We will be back next week. But I'm glad to be here. I've been itching to talk about Solo Leveling, and I love 3-episode rules. So I'm glad that we're going to be a lot more consistent and give you more great content, because 3-episode rule is really the shit, and it's a good a show. So I'm ready to get into it when y'all are.
Yeah, we're here at Solo Leveling, episode 1. I can come on Sunday, so we did watch episode 3 today. Not as a collective. I think we should do some watch parties on
Discord's work.
Discord. Stuff like that.
Discord.
So yeah, come on Sundays, episode 1. Sung Jin Woo is the main character of the show. So the episode opens up on an island with a bunch of ants, and you got these hunters that are trying to kill these ants, and the ants are overpowering them. And you got the S-class Negroes come out and basically just show what they're worth and demolish the ants. Now, the way this world, I guess, is set up is just like you got these dimensional gates and pockets that's opening up, and you could explore these dungeons for loot. So it does have a little JRPG setting to it. But these people that do in the world unlock their awakening. So you get powers, you get a class and stuff like that. Not in the general sense of a JRPG, but kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what
well,
you
unless
get-
you're Sun Jin Woo.
Unless you're Sun Jin Woo, we'll get to that. What level you get, that's who you are. If
Yep.
you're
That sucks.
you just there is E
That's all
class,
she
and
wrote.
there's S class. So whatever your awakened level into it, that's who you are. You cannot change who you are, whatever the case may be. If you're S class, you that shit. Your E class, stick to your 9 to 5 job at the 7-Eleven third shift.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But
I
we
will
Or
open
best
up-
in steroids.
I think after that we open up where Sun Jin Woo is he's got all bandaged up and he's going into a raid with a bunch of more middle of the pack C class people and stuff
D,
that
D.
B at the highest.
be at the highest being the mentor. He oversees the younglings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this thing is E class. He is trash. He got a little pocket knife and that's about it. And he's trying to help his mom Dukes get the medical
Well,
bills,
see, okay, here's the thing.
illness or whatever the case. So
You're trying to put his sister through college?
the sister goes to
Do
school.
RPG school?
Yeah,
No,
RPG.
no, she's not. RPG
That's not-
school is
I mean, what
crazy.
kind of is that? What do you learn in the school like that?
No,
Like,
it's just regular school because his sister's not a hunter.
I would want to learn. I would hope they be teaching some kind of like,
Oh,
Hufflepuff
real quick.
spells or some shit.
I'm almost done. I'm almost on episode 1. We get everybody join on episode 1. It was a slow episode. Nothing happened. They get into the raid. He shows his uselessness pretty much. He got the healer John with him, healing them up, and they pretty much clear the first dungeon. Nothing.
But surprise,
Surprise! There's another door.
it's a double dungeon.
So my problem is you had the worst of the worst at the last vote on whether we go in the dungeon or not.
Right.
And you had the worst.
Ridiculous.
You had the
The men who
last.
don't contribute.
Which isn't how it happened in the manga.
But we're not here about the mom. We're here about.
I
the
know,
end,
I know.
Unfortunately, and he said, "Let's go in this motherfucker." I know I'm ass, but let's go in this motherfucker. I got paid for mom dues.
You gotta think this nigga has been putting people forget every crystal he collected up to this point. This nigga wasn't even using weapons originally. He was in here boxing monsters on a regular basis.
He is ass. But that was pretty much the first episode. Afro comment. How you feel about the first episode?
Okay, I felt like it was super slow. I felt like they tried their best. They took parts from fucking chapter 90 and fucking threw it at the very beginning. And of course, I am a Manhwa Negro, so I was like, okay, maybe this is them showing us that they have an intention to get this far. But it was just, I don't know. It was okay. I stand by episode 1 and 2. They should have just done an hour to begin with. But
Make sure
episode
you down
1,
that beach, Alfro. Make sure you down that beach.
I
So,
will.
letter grade. What did you give it?
A C. It was so slow to begin with. It could have turned people off. It could have. I understand you try to
It
throw
is.
some action in there at the beginning to try and hook the fish, but I mean, apparently it worked. People are watching.
Ebony Moonbeam, would you get the first episode?
I actually liked the first episode. Y'all know me. I don't mind a slow burn, and I don't think that every first episode has to slap you in your face with all the good stuff. So I didn't mind it. The artwork was really good. I instantly kind of wanted to know more about the characters and stuff. So I thought it was absolutely ridiculous that a man that had just had a baby was like, oh no, I'm gonna go into this random extra dungeon and put myself at risk, and I'm gonna let the guy that just damn near died and had to be saved by the healer or whatever, to let him decide that we're gonna go into this deeper dungeon. But I would say white people shit, but they're Asian.
Korean
Right,
people
that's what I
shit.
was like. They're
Shout out to
Asian, so I
Korean
can't even
Negroes.
use that one, but definitely not black people shit. But it definitely I wanted to know more, so I still think it's solid. Like, are we rating it out of 5? What are we rating it?
I think we're giving that
Letter
like,
grade.
Letter grade.
I'd give it a high C, maybe even just a low B, just because I wanted to know more.
BNT, what you think first episode?
Man, and I just reviewed it too. It was very slow, very drastically slow. Because they were giving us useless information that we didn't need. And this is why you got to be careful when you hype up stuff. Mama readers, please do us a favor. Don't say shit on Facebook no more. Because when y'all trying to showcase, oh, he does this and do that. And then when people go there, they're like, this nigga ain't doing none of that shit. Like,
True.
You're going to actually run people off. So the conversations and stuff going on, definitely they weren't lining up very well. And I agree with Moonbeam. I don't mind if it makes sense on a certain thing, but literally you got the one of the most useless people and you're putting them on your team. That's like taking a Rat-a-tat to like the Johto League and you're fighting level 40 people. Like,
Okay.
Stop.
But
Like,
look, if you look at it this way, if Sun Jin Woo if you feel like Sun Jin Woo is competent enough to go into this dungeon at this point, then it's probably a pretty easy dungeon. It's
I
easy
would
money.
want to give you that, Alfro, but no offense. Shout out to the Isekai of Goblin Slayer. If the goblins are beating you up, like my nigga, it's time for
The
us to
goblins
go
weren't
out.
there originally.
Like, are there no regular jobs out there that you can work? Like I'm sorry, dude. Like that's when you're setting your expectations too high. Like if I can barely afford a knife, nigga. You need to go get a real job so you can actually go buy a weapon.
He was a construction worker.
I was going to say he was a construction
This nigga
worker.
be a construction worker. Like, and mind you, I'm gonna be honest, they were pulling stuff from other isekais for this show. Like Gate. If y'all ever seen the anime called Gate, guess what they were going through? Using gates in the modern world. See what I'm saying? So they were pulling stuff from different other isekais for this manhwa, and I give it that respect of homage. I'm gonna have to give it like a little bit like the first episode. I'm gonna have to give that like a D, because I'm sorry, like it was just like, damn, like y'all should have had way more meat into this. Like it was just, I really didn't care for the first episode. Like it didn't have no information. They just hopping around on shit. I don't care about your little sister. I don't care about your mom. I don't care about none of that.
Well,
like,
I get that you don't care about it, but I do think it's important to express that so you know why someone as weak as him is so determined to go into something that could potentially be dangerous. So I think that was necessary. And you did mention that like you felt like there was a bunch of useless information, but I felt like that information needed to be said if you didn't read the manhwa to kind of understand the universe that they were in, because the episode starts out, and I think we glazed over the first 5 minutes of the episode, which really like 3 minutes that went hard as hell. You see these class
from chapter 90
doing their thing. Yeah, but see, I haven't read the manhwa, so for
Right.
me, I instantly like, oh shit, like they doing their thing. It's gonna be really cool, and then you kind of shift, and now we're like, and now let's look at the weaker motherfuckers, and let's show you why they're separated. So I thought the information was necessary.
I hear you with that, Moonbeam. It's just that a lot of their mindset of stuff like, damn, we got a guy who can't do shit going into us. And I'm like, okay, is there not a school for this shit? Like, how do y'all have guilds, schools? Like, nigga, does anybody else go to guild school? Like, the guy, like, what? And mind you, also know the reference point. Their mentor for the first dungeon, that actually was the voice of Kizaru, for doggone One Piece. So shout out to Kizaru. That was actually
showing out in the manga as we speak.
So, but the thing about it was he wasn't really teaching anything to the no guy with no skill.
It's
so
not
like,
a teacher, it was like a supervisor.
I was going to say, he wasn't really a
I'm
teacher.
laying on the ground bleeding. Like, you ain't supervising shit if you laying on the ground. Like,
but in his defense, though, that they stated in that information that you felt was useless, like these aren't things that are necessarily teachable.
Yeah, double dungeons are super rare.
Is whoever you are when it comes to your magical ability. And then they didn't, like you saw, everybody else was able to handle that dungeon, and he was just E-ranked, so they knew that it was going to be somewhat fairly easy, and that's what it was for everyone aside from him, until they went into this extra dungeon that wasn't supposed to be there.
Never take the useless people into the.
All right, hold on, real quick. Let's get Watson, and then we're gonna grab episode 2.
You're muted, Watson.
He gets off mute.
Come on, Watson. Enigma.
Coming down off of the experience of it. I'd probably give it a B. I like the pace of it. I thought they were giving out information that was needed in the beginning, which was helpful to understand at least the whole situation from the Warriors in the beginning, even though they had nothing to do with what's going on. Because I'm actually watching it again now, but them in the beginning, and then they're in a construction zone. So it is a little bit of a fast pace because we don't really know the story off top until people start talking. But I think it was a good start to it, and then they give you the background story of an underdog. I like an underdog, depending on who you are. So I think for him being, it makes sense what BMT is saying. Like logically, why would you want somebody down there? But that's the whole point of the story. It is for him to be down there doing those things because he's the MC. But I give it like a solid B. I thought it was a good pace and easy to understand coming into it. I did read the manhwa, or I am, so I do see some of the holes. I do see some of the holes, and I could see where the frustrations lie, but they're not writing it, so.
All right, so you got B, D, C, another C. Yeah, I give it about a C. I mean, just the hype you there at that point. So episode 2.
You're echoing.
You are. Thank you.
All right, so episode 2, you get inside the dungeon. You see the artifacts telling you to praise God, love God, worship God, all the extra shit. And big monument statues. You see this epic scene. Now, Solo Leveling wasn't even out, and you seen this nigga's face all around social media. So just like we finally get to see this scene of all the statues and shit like that, the menacing face of this
Lords and monarchs.
Well, you got
stuff like that. So
you got to tell them what happened. Well, you got to tell them what happened. The cliffhanger, how it started off. I think it was already a dead body.
Was it?
There was already somebody already got sliced in half, and then somebody I think Lynn.
Well, they read the tablet saying what it was, but they didn't care for what it was. It was only until they tried to leave and
the door closed.
The door closed.
And the Knights was cutting niggas in half. We got niggas with laser beams coming down and slicing niggas in half. And
lose two out of your
like figure it out. Like this scene right here, carving niggas in half and just like
chaotic.
All right, we'll figure it out. There's a bunch of niggas dying, so it wasn't like a riddle, but
and they lost a healer immediately.
Right.
The healer was useless at this point. The niggas was like getting instantaneously cooked.
I was gonna say only his feet were left.
So they had a worship God part, and then Sung Jin-woo figured that out, and then
too bad we didn't figure which God.
Praise God, and then everybody got to get on their knees and just don't move. But of course, the nigga had to get up and move and fuck shit up.
Problematic.
Always.
And then the other one was about not like the celebrating God. You had to go to all the musical notes and stuff like that to stop that. But then then the altar started flaring up. You see the flame.
The timer starts.
Timer starts. Somebody had to get on that altar to slow down the timer, but niggas panic and just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, shortening the time limit. The Knights statues started coming out, and Sung Jin-woo did what he had to do, hold it down, POP. And, he got cooked and let the girl and the mentor get out pretty much, and then he had a little quick time event saying, well, in 0.2 seconds, your heart's going to restart, and you got to do this like right now, or you're cooked.
The system awakened.
Yeah, and he get his second awakening pretty much. So I think the second episode is the most entertaining of the 3. obviously. So you get to see a pretty iconic scene in social media. It got turned into a damn meme. Just like Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece being the monarchs, and then player, all of them is down there bowing to them. So it's been a meme for at least like 5 years. So I mean,
Yeah.
if not more or less.
Cam froze.
Damn.
So I guess we start our rating while Cam God he's trying to traverse the
Yeah.
universe.
Hey, at least you got a Super 6 still frame out of this.
Is it though?
Look at it. He got a shiesty on and everything. But no, the second episode, they fixed the pacing problem for me. Do I still think that it should have been part of the first episode? Yeah.
Yes. Right.
They dragged certain scenes. They dragged certain scenes out. There was a lot of context missing. I have to suspend my manhwa negroness to sort of not look at it like, because you got to think, we got stuff like Frieren out there that is literally going panel by panel and knocking shit out of the park. It's sort of the one problem I had is that and this is gonna set, man, this sounds so fucking like petty. But like the way that they did the faces, yes, we got there. But if you go back and you look at the manhwa, like and I understand it can be a problem if we're talking about like animating something as opposed to a still drawing of it. Yes, there's going to be difference. But if you go back and you look at these manhwa pages and you look at like some of the fear in some of these people's faces,
It's
and
so
like
bad.
even with like the statue, if you go back and you look at the manhwa, it doesn't have like that beginning when they first go in, how it's got like the straight stare. Like throughout this whole time, it's the statue's just like sneering at them this whole time, like literally just looking down on them, like, what the fuck are you guys even doing here? And we didn't get that up until, of course, you get the meme smile and all that, and that sort of picks up the pace. Also, when Sun Jin Woo finally gets the beats, they drag that shit, and I'm here for it. But it was not that gruesome, not that hardcore in the manhwa. It was hardcore, but this nigga got some extra stabs in there. Like when they swung him around on top of the sword and shit. I was like, damn.
How's the E class surviving all of this? Like, would you want to give it, Afro? What would you want to give it?
Okay, I gave the first episode a C. This one, logically, we'll say a middle B, like 85%. It was solid. It was solid. I'll give it that.
Okay. From what Afro said, I agree on it a lot, because the first episode and the second episode could have been combined. And I'm not even going off of manhwa wise. It was just so noticeable. I think they're trying to drag out to make episodes, and that's just being fair.
They don't need to, though.
But right, they don't need to. But again, when you got so much funding, you need to get the work done. So I'm like, well, damn, you could have just had them go in there and get the backstory and put them in the first room, and that could have been your first episode. However, we're not the writers, we're just the reviewers. Right. So that's why I have to turn off. It's like watching a live action and an anime, reading a manga and an anime, reading a manhwa, and now you got a Japanese animation team. This is why we talked about before. It's kind of hard to compare them because some things are just going to not align up, and it kind of blows my mind because, to be honest, if anybody would have seen that, and this is what's weird about it, if it's an isekai and y'all are dungeon professionals.
Well, hold on, wait. This technically isn't an isekai, bro. He's not sent to another world. I mean, this is just the world he lives in.
Well, no. When you go in the dungeon, you are no longer in the human. You're no longer in your world.
It is technically a dimensional gate. Yeah, okay.
Right. So that's why it falls into the isekai lane, because it's one thing if the creatures were coming over into your world.
Well, they do. That's what they showed you in the beginning. That was a gate break. When there's too many monsters and the gate gets overwhelmed, then they come into the real world, which is why they were on Jeju Island, which is an actual island, actually the biggest island in Korea. But
so shout out to you for giving that, and that's why it's like that's why I'm looking at it where they're doing. they're doing that for professionals, and I look at it where as to you're going into, if y'all saying hold up, an anomaly double dungeon just popped up. Listen, that would have to tell all forward, hey, bro, anything we see from here on, be on guard. Like, dude, one of us can probably go in that room, but all of us are not going in that room. Probably, if we see a thing, we need to read Carmen Sandiego's rules before we just start walking around. That's why I was like, okay, dude, like, there's no way y'all are professionals and y'all are not caring about the rules, but you're in an empty arena altar room. Come on, dude. We all played Elden Ring. We know how this goes down. Like,
True that.
so that's
You ever
why
go? I went into the Howling Tree way too early.
like, so
what are you giving it?
So I'm gonna have to give it. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B out of fairness. But I did enjoy the gore of the Goblin Slayer slaughtering. You know what I'm saying? Of all the people, they were just dying pretty funny to me, and it just showed me that of the frailty of humanity, that they don't have no faith in each other.
Even with the and faith was the biggest part of this dungeon.
That was the biggest thing.
So for me, I
hope y'all kept it going.
Yeah.
No, we just stopped and let 5 minutes of dead air come.
We just gave up when our leader left. Like, we're lost.
For me,
It's still going, so keep going.
I thought it was a really good episode. If I recall, the end of first episode ends where they're already in the second dungeon, but nothing crazy has happened outside of. I think at the very end, that's when the girl says that she thinks it looked at her.
Yes, it's following her.
Okay.
So,
so for me, that's why I liked the first episode, because I was like, oh shit, what's about to happen? And then the second one, so I thought that was a good enough cliffhanger for me to be like, what is about to happen? And I already knew, like, this statue, there's something wrong with the statue. So then when we get into episode 2, I really enjoyed it because it didn't take too long for the slaughter to happen, and the
pacing was way better.
The pacing picked up the way I felt like it should. I think we as viewers, especially when it comes to stuff like where we, like if you actually still wait week to week for episodes and stuff, we are so used to now getting stuff almost right off bat, instead of it building the way older anime is. Like, just think about like Yu Yu Hakusho back in the day and stuff like that. Like, that took a long time to build up. One Piece, perfect example, slow as shit.
25 years.
So I think that's one of the reasons why we look at it that way, but I felt like it was perfect pacing because they gave you just enough to want to know more. In episode 2, the gore factor for me was top tier. I appreciated it. You know, I've spoken multiple times about how I like dark anime, I like gore, I like horror. I love things that kind of go back to either spirituality or ideology, because I think that taps into people's personal beliefs, but also people's emotions. Like, no different than when you watch a horror movie that has something like exorcism or stuff in it compared to just a big bad serial killer. It's gonna hit differently. And I thought that was great. Watching people, just like BMT said, watching people kind of be selfish and give in and say, nah, I'm scared, I'm out. Nah, I need this, I'm out. Just freaking out and not really knowing what to do. Yeah, like I feel like all of those things are what a lot of people experience in real life. So for me, honestly, the episode 2 was an A for me. There is not one thing that I can think of out of all the anime that I've watched, the manga that I've read. I can't think of one thing that I was like, if they put this in, it would have definitely been an A for me. You know, it would have took it over the edge. I can't think of anything, so I have to give it an A just based off of everything that they gave. Like, they didn't hold back, and I appreciated the fact that we saw that because the main character, Jinwoo, is a lower ranked character and is constantly having to be on his toes because he sucks.
The lowest
he was
rank.
able to pick up on things that other people wouldn't necessarily pick up because they have the power to not have to worry about the little subtleties. And if it wasn't for having someone in there that always has to look at the bigger picture because he doesn't have the power to back it up, they were able to get as far as they did in episode 2 because of him. because everybody would have been out of there if he didn't be like, nigga, done.
Oh yeah, they'd all tried to run and they'd all got. Shout out to homeboy who pulled out the cross.
Now,
Wrong God, my boy, wrong God.
No,
Right,
and that, I loved that because he was like, well, I've studied this, and I think everybody knows a know-it-all that thinks that they can just talk their way out of anything and knowledgeable. But if we all have watched The Mummy,
Yeah.
that nigga starts saying this. He's like, nope, this ain't working. And then he starts saying like a Hail Mary. He's like,
that
nope,
dude
this
called
ain't
like
working.
45 different prayers,
He
man.
called on, like,
He ran the
80
gambit for
gods.
sure.
He was like, I don't know which God you are, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna try my best. This man was just praising to Jesus, like,
I was gonna say when he pulled
Oh
out
God!
when he pulled out the cross, bro, I was like, this nigga is not a vampire.
does this man look like Jesus? Jesus is not in this dungeon with you.
Not at all. Not at all. He,
No Jesus
did,
here, buddy.
Who didn't review it?
What?
Watching the.
I give it an A. I thought just because they got right to the action the second time around, the Jinwoo himself, like Ebony was saying, he carried them. As far as weak as he was, which pretty much foreshadowed what was to come, in my opinion. And he actually, he actually got the reward in the end where everybody else just ran out. So I thought that was a good start to. It didn't take like almost 10 episodes to figure out how he got said powers. Like,
well, he was the only one that could have pulled it off because the quest was a hidden quest, and it was I believe it was the courage of the weak or something like that. No one.
Yeah.
So if there wasn't another E rank there, so he's the only person who could have even attempted at getting a double awakening from
We
this.
don't know that because of we don't know. Okay, so to be fair, it wasn't like he wanted to really stay there. He
No.
was like, my leg is crushed.
He
I
was
can't
not
carry
even
the
crushed,
girl
it was
out.
Gone.
I can't carry the girl out,
That's-
and I mean, you're missing an arm, but you can at least get her out of there. And so that did explain the physiology that by running out of manhwa mana, that literally it will affect your actual body to where
Oh,
A,
yeah.
you can't walk or you
I
can't.
loved that because
And I'm like,
you
oh,
rarely
that's
see
how
that
it works.
in anime where when you're out, like the toll that overexerting yourself and using that much power has on your body, not in that type of way. Like you see them beat, like you see Luffy, he tired, he need meat and stuff like that. But you've never really seen it in like that kind of gory way where it's like, nah, I'm using my life essence right
This
Yeah,
here.
but
bitch
girls
bleeding
started-
from her eyeballs now.
Right, like,
The girl started
I love
coughing up
that.
blood. She was coughing up blood, trying to heal him, and they told her, "Yo, you got to stop because you healing him is killing you now."
Which, believe it or not, it was toned down from the manhwa. Because in the manhwa, when you run out of mana, niggas be going into seizures and shit and just fucking crazy shit. Like, if you run out of mana, you're fucking. It's a bad
I
time.
mean, it's not like Naruto when you run out of chakra, you just die. So
Yeah, unless you get chakra cancer,
Again,
then it don't even matter.
I appreciate that subtlety of showing the anatomy of how their world worked for mana.
At
That
least how their world worked for hunters.
Right.
Because it shows that your mana, you have to keep track of your mana gauge. It's not something like, well, I ran out of mana, but I still got these fists. Like, no,
Nah.
you ran out of
Ran out of
mana,
mana.
you're going to start having bodily dysfunctions happen to you, like girl coughing up blood, or your legs don't work, or you need your legs to go start dodging. After a while, he's just rolling on the ground. Like, I'm like, dude, get up! Like,
So,
Is it-
so
is it-
before
is
you
it
get in-
overall an A for episode 2?
I gave it a B, but
It's a
I'm a manhwa Negro, so I'm always gonna go lower.
Number
I got
two,
it.
we have to get that an A just for the climax of how
Don't
it
give
went down. So
And
we
don't
can-
get me wrong, the A will subside. Episode 3.
Wait. Before you get into that, because I actually have to run, but I just wanted to go in and give y'all my grade for episode 3. I'm still gonna give it like in the B range because it still got me. I'm keeping it, so I'll definitely be watching more. I'm gonna continue to watch it, and now I'm interested. Well, I was always interested, but I'm gonna open up the manhwa tonight. when I get
Yeah,
home.
that's what I'm
So
talking
then
about.
I can compare with
It'll be a webtoon,
Rami and y'all.
Negro.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a webtoon Negro. So thanks for having me. Per usual, I wish I could have stayed for the rest of the episode, but they finally are feeding people in this gala that I'm at, and I haven't eaten all day. So love you guys. Check out Solo Leveling. Follow Ebony Moonbeam on all social media platforms. Check out Waifu Views Sundays at 8 p.m. I'll also be on the roundtable on Wednesdays. Love you guys, and I'm out.
The evening count Moonbeam, she's out of here. Go follow her.
She got to go be bougie.
You know it, and I gotta eat.
Episode 3 opens up pretty much. He's in the hospital. He's been out for 3 days.
Got his leg back.
He got his limbs back. Everything's in order. And the two people from the Hunters Association just investigating, see what's going on. They read his power level. It's like it's still at 10. He's still ass. No second awakening for you that they could read per se. But he got a new inventory. It's like touchscreen telling him do daily missions and stuff like that. So he had to do a One Punch Man treatment, just like 100.
Yep. Daily quest.
100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 10
kilometer run,
and then 100 push-ups. He's like, man, this is bullshit. So he stops, goes to sleep. This thing gets transferred to a desert and got to run away from and survive from desert worms.
2 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours, yeah.
4 hours.
4 hour run.
No, I mean,
run.
that is a feat. He was running 4 hours
That is
non-stop.
quite a
yeah.
feat.
He definitely wishes he just ran the 10K to begin with, and he
Right.
will going forward, folks.
If anybody saying Sun Shin Woo is weak, he ran 4 hours non-stop. Allegedly. So he gets
That man was crying.
teleported there as a penalty for not doing the daily tasks, and he gets teleported back for surviving. And he gets to, with his second awakening, level up. So he got up abilities and stats. And like I said at the beginning, once you're stuck with what you got, you're stuck with what you got. But
And usually, even on the second awakening, there's not a level up option. It's like your E, you get a second awakening, maybe you jump up to C or B, but you're still at C or B. Not everyone gets system access when they get a second
yeah,
awakening.
so once he realizes this, he's doing the runs, he's doing the sit-ups, he's doing the pull-ups, he's doing all the other shit. And I mean, episode 3, nothing much really happened. He went to another dungeon that was only accessible for loot, so he gets loot every time he does this. So think of it
And
as
he's
like,
the only person that gets loot. Other people, you just get the crystals. Not everyone's getting weapons, armor, stuff like that from
so he's been getting
defeating
like
monsters.
some bullshit here and there, some foods, some stuff here and there, but he got a dungeon key, so he ends up getting a dungeon key. And he takes a bullshit ass knife to a gunfight again, and ends up fighting goblins that allegedly weren't in the manga.
They weren't there. They weren't there in the manga.
But
They weren't-
he beat the goblins, and then he's fighting his wolf with a metal jaw. So
Yeah,
whatever.
the steel fang like him.
So
Like-
my thing was that the only thing that got me, the funniest thing of this whole episode, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get stronger, and he crushed the apple with bare hands. I'm like, okay. Like,
I mean, that's not exactly easy to do.
I'm just saying, I see niggas crush cinder blocks, bricks, bend steel, like break fucking walls, parking garages, shit like that.
One Punch Man
crushed
did
the
a sword.
Yeah, he did, but he bought Speed of Sonic's.
So other than that, I mean, episode 3 was episode 3. What do y'all think about it?
Go ahead, Afro.
I didn't hate it. It was. I hate being that nigga once again. It was, aside from the little stuff that we talked about, it was very close to the manga. I didn't expect it to be some super hype. Like I said, they're right now, the way they're doing it, they're covering roughly 3 chapters per episode. If you're reading the web novel and not reading the web comic, it's like 4 to 5 chapters. So, it was average. Maybe, I mean, the goblins, I was like, he, goblins. But then my inner Monwa Negro was like, when the fucking goblins here? But no, I give it it's a solid a low B, solid high C, 79 to 80%, somewhere in there.
BMT or Watson? whatever you want to go first.
I'm gonna go with giving it a B. Like I said, I did enjoy the fact that he now learns the penalty that I ain't gonna lie, that pretty much was suck. because that means there is no such thing as a down day for him, or he just
Nope.
gets penalized. So some people looking at, oh man, that's good. No, dude, that means every day he has to check his email, check his box, or ends up somewhere in like the ocean or in the desert with dead scorpions and poison and stuff. So
That
Yeah.
Mad
sounds
centipedes, yo.
so
in the middle of the ocean, like you gotta swim for 4 hours.
like so and,
Treading water for 4 hours is crazy.
and I mean but that's pretty interesting. They're showing other characters, but we really don't care about them. But I know they've been showing some blonde girl and she's gonna be a mentor. We don't know nothing about her. We just know that she's a top ranker, and some guy who looks like, I don't know, some high wizard who has his own guild, another guy with a scar. I don't even know their names like that, but I'm sure when I read the manhwa, I'll start learning their names. But right now we just know the geeky Korean Marty McFly. He's pretty much, it's all about him.
Don't worry, Sun Jin-woo gonna get the glow up.
Like, so we're pretty much understanding, just like Cam and Alfred brought up and watching, that there is we're starting to see the pot of the ingredients are starting to come together, that he has the RPG isekai leveling system, which is pretty good. I mean he can't really, right now he's dealing with a little bit of PTSD, which is interesting. I have Goblin PTSD from Goblin Slayer. You all know what happens if you go down from Goblin. So I
We
don't know
know.
why,
You don't want
I
to
don't know why he's not
Goblin.
afraid of them, because they seem like they be salivating and slobbing when they be seeing fresh meat come down in the hole.
bunch of goblins with the honey packs.
So I'd
The
be
honey
scared.
pack is crazy.
I'd be scared of shit when them goblins come around. But I'm not sure if that statue is in his mind fucking with him. We don't know yet, but I hope we'll find out soon. But
Well, don't hold out much hope for that.
But looking at how it's going, I do like it now, that because I'm not gonna lie, in 3 episodes it can make or break your show,
Audience retention is important.
right? Or your attention, that's why we lost some people on One Piece, Bleach, and the other shows. So far it's kind of keeping the lifeline somewhat still going, but it's not very consistent sometimes, because it will be a pickup, then it's like a slow down, and I hate that. Like, have a consistency like how it did with JJK or with Naruto. We were seeing, okay, we can do this. We can.
That'll happen we'll get, I'm guessing we
But see-
might get through this first season before we see it. But once
Alfro,
you
but
see
see-
his class change, that's when you start to get more.
But see, Alfro, that's the thing about it, is y'all have the manhwa foresight. But if it's just us, as we're just anime watchers, that's
So you're
what I'm
saying they should rush the class change.
I'm not saying rush it, but they do have it where they have it like some specials where they literally, you know what I'm saying, like where they literally had it where some specials they just do a 1 hour special, or at least like they literally don't show them with the riz, the nice suits, the nice hairstyle, and the Korean jag, but I got Marty McFly, scrawny,
Ferrari, Jaguar, special 4 lanes.
right? Like, don't be showing us the end game, and we looking at some scrawny little peeve. Like, maybe if you would have had him sitting down looking like that, and he started going over his back, let me tell you how I got to where I am. Okay, cool. But you got us turned on, and literally we're going into the bedroom and just laying there with no action. So I'm just like,
Blue balls.
Shout out to the honey pack.
yeah, them honey pack, them goblin honey packs
All
are
right,
real.
hold on, let's get Watson in here and then see what everybody's watching for right now.
I'm gonna give it a B. I'm simple, so like I said, I'm keeping up in the manhwa, and I'm watching it here. I like the post. This is what I have to do to keep this power OP. Who knows? Maybe after a while he won't. But for right now, that's what it's looking like. But I like the fact that it did slow down, because he did go through a lot, even with his second awakening here. It's all something he's got to get used to. And as somebody who was into the manhwa and the anime, I thought it was bullshit how they made it seem like it was just one day that
Oh yeah.
this thing decided to be like, oh, we're gonna punish you. like he woke up the next day and then that night or that next day he had to go and do all that. I think in the manga it was like a week.
Yeah, well, he slept for like I think 3 or 4 days.
He was already
after
asleep for 3
that.
days. They told him he was asleep for 3 days when they found him. He was asleep for 3 days. So he already lost 3 days. So did he go to sleep for 4 more days? Like
Something like that, yeah. Like that was rushed, and that's why I was like, I think y'all probably could have did that a little different. But other than that, I like where it's going so far. Maybe we'll get something next episode. I don't know. And then of course the other thing I didn't like was the goblins. All that should have been like it. But yeah,
shout out to Goblin Negroes.
They know the cultural fear for goblins now since Goblin Slayer.
Home Leveling every Sunday. You can watch it on
you drove Disciple, man.
Platforms that you do have to pay for. Me, I'm a Negro, so I'm gonna watch where I watch it at. Shout out to all the anime apps. Shout out to Facebook. You can watch that. But other than that, I think we're gonna go.
What do you rate it, Cam?
I give it about a B. I mean, he's getting to his own. I didn't like the end part. I think he's still like shook a little bit. So if you're crushing a fucking apple with your bare hands, you'll be able to punch a fucking goblin's head off. Maybe I don't know. You put all that strength in for a
This
reason.
nigga was boxing minotaurs with not that much power though.
Well, see,
So,
we
I
haven't
see
seen
what you're
that.
saying.
We haven't seen that in.
Get your life together. I know he's still pussy right now, but we won't get to
yeah,
that.
but you saw him. He was holding his own, and then he went through him like he was one of the parties that done it. And then here come the liking.
No power, no ups in agility, but we still dodging these nights.
Kanye West is a werewolf popped up.
But do y'all think that they always have to start out the character as a wimp? Do y'all think that they can? Do they always have to be a wimp?
For this type of story, yes, I do feel like that. If we're going to show you how someone went from being the weakest to being that nigga, yeah, you sort of do have to. You got to see the whole grind. I feel like.
I think. Well, I do have a different topic for Roundtable, but I think that's a good topic for Roundtable. Was like starting out as a wimp or starting out as OP. Like which one benefits?
I think that's why I like the
down for that.
Of the shadow right off top, because him and his sister was OP, and I was like, I like this.
Oh my god, that show is so bad.
It did get bad. Go read the manga though, folks. It's way better.
Yeah, well, we're talking about that. We're gonna do Roundtable this Wednesday. Animes that fell off. Like,
oh man, there's gonna be a whole graveyard of that. Hunter, I'm looking at you.
Shout out to the fell off Negroes. Next 3-episode rule. Are y'all watching the wrong way to use healing magic?
I mean, I can. I didn't plan on it.
Jesus.
I'm a manga Negro at the end of the day.
I need to start going like more than
I'm watching.
How many episodes do I need to start watching? Are we doing that next?
3.
Just okay. So just put down what we need to go watch. I'll go watch it.
All right. Next 3-episode rule. The wrong way to use healing magic.
That is so good.
Not redo of a healer, folks.
Not
I'm like, Jesus Christ, are we going through that trauma again?
Not redo the essay. Not redo the essay, Negro.
The Yujiro Hanma Isekai.
That is some nasty work. I watched a few episodes. That's crazy.
Just watch it, yo. Everybody loves redo of a healer. Nigga just trying to get his get back.
We're gonna do the wrong way to use healing magic. Next. So 3-episode rule made by Can, aka the Shiesty Sorcerer, Afro Common Hair, 765 neighborhood local scumbag. Overall 99 Media.
Road to 3,000 subscribers. We're getting there, folks.
Yeah, the road to 3K. Shout out to Watson _ the great Watson winner, and then BNC Business Mind Talk also here, and she already left, but she left her cues here. Ebony Moonbeam, everything she got going on. But
shout out to the waifus.
Yeah, shout out to the waifus, and shout out to all the Blurred Negroes and everything they got going on. Wrong way to use healing magic. 3-episode rule.
Not redo the healer.
Not redo.
Jesus Christ, God,
not redo the Negro.
Our watchers.
Don't you put that label on him. We don't need him over here, regardless of how he acts. He's not a Negro.
I feel like they're trying to push people into Berserk. I feel like they're trying to push Berserk on the people. I think Yujiro would like being in the Berserk world. I think.
Oh yeah, Yujiro's eating in Berserk land.
Oh God. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll watch some 3 episodes. This should be 4 by then. And then yeah. This season of anime is looking okay-ish. It's a lot of
Season 2 of Mashle, yo.
A couple of hits.
I'm actually excited.
Bling 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 bling.
I'll catch
Right
up
after
on Mashle.
Saitama.
I had to finish Spy Family.
Oh, I gotta go watch it now.
Any y'all else?
Fuck
Any
Spy
y'all
Family.
watching
Don't make
Delicious,
give a fuck about.
Delicious in a Dungeon?
Oh, that's so
I-
good.
I was gonna say I've started it.
It makes so much sense. That's what's so bad about. I'm like, I have thought about these things also.
Go watch the first episode of Ichiro Oda's Monster, yo. First episode dropped today. Ryuma's up there cutting shit down with Enma. Y'all know what it is. Or no, it's Shusui, not Enma.
Usato's